Lost Castle 2 pitches itself as a roguelite beat-em-up that respects your time, combining deep progression with instant action. It offers a promise of chaotic dungeon crawling with friends, without the usual roguelite grind. Players are flocking to it, praising its core loop and calling it criminally underrated. But with claims of extreme grind and anti-solo design bubbling up, it's worth asking, is Lost Castle 2 actually the co-op roguelite gem we've been waiting for, or is it another early access illusion? I spent over 40 hours in the castle to find out. For the first few runs, the positive claims absolutely check out. Lost Castle 2 immediately feels like a spiritual successor to Castle Crashers, but with vastly more depth. You're dropped into a side-scrolling brawl, picking up varied weapons, each with unique skills and combos that feel genuinely punchy. The build variety is fantastic, you can lean into magic, summons, or pure melee, and the game quickly lets you experiment. It's forgiving for new players, but deep enough for veterans to chase insane damage numbers. Crucially, a full gameplay loop takes around an hour, and you can even save and resume a run, which is a rare, appreciated quality of life feature for the genre. This focus on immediate fun and respectful session times is where Lost Castle 2 truly shines, especially with friends. Before I continue, if you're enjoying this no-fluff format, a subscribe really helps the channel grow. Takes 1 second. Alright, let's get back in. But here's where the cracks begin to show. Despite the initial time respect promise, the game quickly devolves into a relentless grind. One player noted extreme grinds and unnecessary grinds designed to eat your time, and they're not wrong. Chasing specific treasures for desired builds becomes a chore, heavily relying on luck. The procedural generation, initially praised, feels limited after a dozen runs, leading to repetitiveness. Furthermore, while it's fantastic with friends, Lost Castle 2 actively punishes solo play, increasing difficulty and making certain encounters feel unfair without backup. This creates a significant barrier for players who just want to jump in alone. What most players miss, or perhaps underestimate, is how much the game leans into meta progression as a mandatory crutch for its difficulty. Early game progression feels slow, and while camp upgrades eventually make a difference, they only mask deeper issues. Reviewers mention huge stats, disparity between new and old players, and that the game becomes a meta check more than skill check. This isn't about mastering combat, it's about grinding for the right camp upgrades and then grinding for the precise legendary gear to make a meta build viable. It forces you down specific, often repetitive, paths, rather than encouraging the freedom of choice a good roguelite should offer. So, is Lost Castle 2 a hidden gem, or another trap? It's both, in a weird way. It's an absolute blast for the first 10-15 hours, especially if you have a dedicated co-op crew. The core combat, build variety, and immediate feedback are genuinely exciting, and the game is clearly made with passion. However, once you move past the honeymoon phase and into the deeper progression, it becomes a repetitive grind, designed to extend playtime rather than deepen the experience. If you're looking for a fun, short burst beat 'em up to play with friends, and don't mind dropping it before the grind sets in, then at its current price, it's worth picking up. But if you're a solo player or someone hoping for a roguelite with the endless depth of Hades, or the Binding of Isaac, Lost Castle 2, in its current early access state, will likely disappoint in the long run. If this helped, drop a like and subscribe. See you in the next one.